A number of Walcha people have been prepared to make public their ideas about the Winterbourne Wind Farm project. This video gives just some idea of their thoughts and feelings.
The advent of in excess of 700 towers and perhaps 1 million solar panels is not the direction that this area should take. It is destroying one of the most productive food bowls in Australia. We have expressed our discontent to the Mayor and to the Council, and we still have the feeling that this should be totally objected to by every citizen in our town.
The construction of wind turbines is going to cause damage to our pristine ecosystem. So as a custodian of the land, I have to leave the land in as good a condition or a better condition with which I received it. So please, say no to wind farms for the future generations.
Mirus Wind and their partners propose 600 towers for our district. Are these people serious? The greed is beyond reproach. This isn't about saving the planet, it's about money.
When we were approached to have wind turbines on our farms, it opened a raft of very confronting discussions, both with our family and with neighbours. There was only one shaky reason to say yes, and that was the money. And it was shaky because there was no guarantee. You didn't know how many turbines, and you don't know costs of decommissioning. You didn't know when the project was going to start. And there are millions of reasons to say no.
There seems to be a secrecy around the confidentiality clauses that have been signed, and it's causing an irreparable community division.
I don't think people, understand the magnitude of what it's going to do to the roads and the properties. We won't have our little pristine Walcha. It'll be like a scar on our little town, and I think it'll be a long way. It'll have to go a long way to healing if this, ever takes off. So I just don't like the idea of it.
What are the benefits to the community from these wind farms? We're told there'll be a community fund and that there'll be 200 or 300 jobs generated for the community. Well, the community fund seems to pale in significance when compared to the billions of dollars that will be generated from this scheme. And the jobs seem a bit heroic when you consider that the tradies around town are flat out getting apprentices to fill their positions.
My job as a farmer is to try and encourage as much native animal and flora and fauna onto my place as I can now, and just think this is going to discourage it further and push them away.
I don't think the response is to pollute our landscape. Transmission lines, wind turbines, new road infrastructure, they themselves will damage the landscape. And of course then there's that visual effect that we will never live in the same beautiful area again.
But my take-home message is, whether you're for it, on the fence, against it, these developments will affect us here in Walcha, and you really need to understand this, that this will definitely change this community forever.
The size and scope of the wind farms that are taking over, or is proposed to take over in this area, is just ridiculous. You can't believe it. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. This is true. This is happening now in this beautiful, beautiful part of New South Wales. One of the most productive farming areas that we have.
I strongly object to international companies coming in with little or no understanding of small towns and imposing what they see as progressive renewable energy projects with little communication. It has been an insidious process and is dividing this community. Our landscape will be changed forever with these wind turbines. We don't want this industrial landscape. We have a responsibility for future generations, and I am one voice for Walcha.
I'm not against renewable energy, it's very necessary, but why does Walcha have to carry such a huge load?
I want someone to convince me that this is the right renewable energy infrastructure in the right location. If this is so fabulous for our community, then shout it from the rooftops. I want the conversation within the community so we can all understand the very detail of how great this is going to be for us. I want someone to explain and detail the impact on our roads, who's paying for that. I want someone to detail the impacts on our waste stream and who's going to be paying for that waste disposal and the use of our waste system.
We're a small community. We are a tight-knit community. We deserve answers from these people, and we're not getting them.
What do I think about the Winterbourne wind farms? I think it's crazy. I think we already know that it's subseded technology in Europe. We already know in 25 years' time they're going to be in the ground. And for what? To ruin our countryside, our community relationships. I just think it's crazy.
I don't believe that the construction process is good for our community. The traffic will be blocked on so many roads for a very long time, and it will reduce our ability to do our business well, and it will just reduce the ability for the town to do its business well. The construction process employs lots of people, but they probably won't be local. And into the future, I don't believe these wind turbines are green. The mining and the resources that go into their construction and their creation, are we creating a bigger problem than the mining we already do? We need to look for better alternatives, and we need to leave farming land for farming.
Well, there you have it. A selection of people who wanted to voice their feelings about this wind farm issue. But that is only the tip of the iceberg. Below it are many hours of podcasts by locals, some as long as 30 minutes each, a real indication of how strongly many in the Walcha community feel about this matter. And all they're doing is asking why. Thanks for listening.